Shalom Aleichem, everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful week. This week is Parshas Lech Lecha, and we're introduced to Avram Avinu. And I wanted to share a beautiful, beautiful idea that Rav Jonathan Sachs, Yeshivat Refuah Shlema, shares in his book To Heal a Fractured World. And he discusses the contrast. It's very striking that we have four major stories in the beginning of the Torah. Bereshis note, before we get to Avram Avinu, the introduction to Avram Avinu in Lech Lecha, we have four major episodes. You have the episode of Adam and Chava eating from the Eitz Hadas, Cain and Hevel, Cain murdering Hevel, the story of Noach and the destruction of the world, and the story of the Tower of Babel, the Dor HaPalaga. And Rabbi Sachs suggests that in a chapter called The Birth of Responsibility, he says that each one of these four episodes is a certain failure, a failure of responsibility. Adam and Chava, they're given one command, a mission, and they're told to eat from all of the Eitz Hagan, but don't eat from the Eitz Hadas, and they do so. They do it as sin, and they hide from God. And God seeks them out, He calls for them, and Adam finally answers, and he says, Hashem, it's her fault. It's in fact your fault. The Isha that you gave me, she's the one who caused me to eat. He denies personal responsibility. He blames Chava, he blames HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Chava blames the Nachash. They don't take personal responsibility. They don't take the personal achrayus. Comes along Cain. Cain brings a carbon, Hevel brings a carbon. Hashem accepts the carbon of Hevel and does not accept the carbon of Cain. Cain gets very upset. How, God, can you do that? That's not right, that's not fair, and he becomes jealous, and he murders his own brother. Once again, Hashem seeks him out, finds Cain, and Cain's response is, Hashomer achi anochi, am I responsible for my brother? Do I have to care about my brother? I was upset, I was jealous, and I did what I wanted to do. Cain's failure is a moral responsibility, to understand that, yes, you are your brother's keeper. Yes, you should care about your brother, and that is Cain's failure. He doesn't see that he has any need to care for others. He has no moral responsibility. Noach, of course, his failure is he could have done something, perhaps to help the world, to save the world. He's told to build a teva for many, many, many years, so that people will ask, what are you doing? Perhaps he can be makarev them, and Noach seals himself in the teva, and he doesn't seek to help the world around him. He just protects himself and his family. And of course, and that is a failure of collective responsibility. Being responsible for other people, caring for other people, being there for other people. And lastly is the Dor HaPalaga. They want to rebel against God, make a shame for themselves, build this great, great tower. And Rav Sachs uses a fancy word, the failure of ontological responsibility, but to realize that there are powers greater than you, and there are things that are greater than you. There are forces greater than you. This was the failure of Nazi Germany, of Soviet communism, and this is the failure of the Dor HaPalaga. This is the backdrop where we're introduced to Avram Avinu in this week's parsha. And Avram Avinu comes and he teaches us the ideas of succeeding in these areas of responsibility, of taking responsibility. So Avram's commanded, Lech Lecha me'artzecha, leave your homeland, leave your father's birthplace, your birthplace, leave your father's land, leave your father's home, and start fresh. You are starting fresh. No excuses. This is about you. You have personal responsibility. You can't blame it on your background, on your upbringing, on your surroundings. You have Lech Lecha, bear responsibility, bear personal responsibility. When there's a war and Lot is taken captive, so Avram goes to redeem Lot. In the way that Cain was, Hashomer achi anochi, my brother's keeper, Avram responds affirmatively, yes, yes indeed. I'm going to go save my nephew, Shomer achi anochi. I will go out to help my brethren, to help my family, to help others around me. Noach's failure to save the world, collective responsibility when Hashem wants to destroy Sodom. So once again, Avram says, how can you do so? Maybe 50 tzaddikim, 45, 40, 30, 20, 10 tzaddikim. How can you go ahead and destroy Sodom? Ba'avur ha'asara. Avram's willing to go to bat for others. He's willing to go to bat to save a society, to save cities, to save communities. He doesn't fail in that sense of collective responsibility. And the Dor HaPalaga, not willing to submit. They want to rule the world. They want to lord over everything. There is no God. There's no greater force. So when Avram Avinu is given the command of Akedas Yitzchak, the ultimate submission, the ultimate saying that it's not about me. I'm willing to give up everything for you, Hashem. So that is the triumphant success of Avram in taking on the ontological responsibility to a Ribono Shel Olam. So this is our background to Avram Avinu. He seems to achieve it all. He achieves greatness in all of these domains. And that is a tremendous, tremendous legacy that he leaves for us, a legacy of Mesiras Nefesh, a legacy of taking care of others, of family members, of society around us, a legacy of taking responsibility, a legacy of sacrificing to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in our relation with Hashem. This is what it means to be Zera Avram. What a privilege, what a schus. And I want to wish everyone a beautiful Shabbos Kodesh.